Hey everybody, Greg Rice here in the Bucket, Pawtucket, Rhode Island. And a bad landlord, a slumlord. Those are names that I've been called recently. Actually, this past week, somebody made a YouTube channel about me, saying that I'm a bad landlord. So I said, what is a bad landlord? I want to know what that is, because if I am one, I want to improve it. I want to correct it, right? I strive for perfection, but I am not a perfectionist, because that will drive you mad. You can't live that way. You got to let some stuff just be, right? We can't control everything, but we can do better, okay, and ascend into better versions of ourselves on a daily basis, and that's what I strive to do. So I have a list here, and it's 10 different things of what a bad landlord is. So I'm going to go over that and then reflect with you here about that. So the first one is missing in action / non-communicative, right? You reach out to your landlord, you don't hear from him. You reach out to see, right, in the beginning of the relationship, to see the apartment, and they don't respond to you, right? These are indicators that they don't care. And you would think to yourself, how could somebody not care about filling a vacancy? Well, to be honest, it's the same way about contractors. Sometimes we call contractors and we don't hear from them. And it's just like, they don't want a job, they don't want our money. And I think it's the same concept here, where they're just so busy, they're so overloaded. Maybe they have enough money, right? It's not a big deal. Who knows? But that is a bad sign, right? No communication, not responsive, or just MIA in general, right? You never get to see them or a representative from their company on any basis. So that's number one. Number two would be dishonest advertising. So you go online and you see a wonderful apartment, it looks shiny and new and clean, and then you show up actually, and then it's a shit show. It's a pigsty, it's dirty, right? Maybe those pictures were from 5 years ago when they renovated the unit, and now it's been lived in and neglected, and it's not what it is. That's a terrible sign. That's a lie. Okay, that's a lie on the front end about where you're going to live, and you're going to accept that? I would not. I think that's an indicator of more bad things to come. And you could also throw in there too, oh yeah, heat and hot water included, and then you move in. Oh yeah, it's just the stove gas. It's not the heat for the apartment, right? We've seen stuff like that happen, which is also a bad thing. Next one is no attention given to common areas. And to me, I'm big on the common areas. I don't go crazy on them, but I also don't neglect them, because they do get damaged a lot. People moving in, moving out, construction going on, the snow, the rain, all that, yada, yada, pets. But if you walk in and like the lights are broken, it's dirty, right? The corners got all gook and hair and just, garbage strewn about. I remember seeing chicken bones one time. It was in Pawtucket. 907 Main Street was the house. I walked in the hallway, and it was the first time going there to rent a unit for the owner, and there was eaten chicken bones on the step. And I was like, chicken bones? Right? Imagine the guy was just eating it, and then he was like, I'm done with this chicken bone. Just throw that on the step. Then I have to walk up and down because I live here. So if you see a chicken bone, it's probably not a good sign. Rental unit is in disrepair, and this is kind of tied into the dishonest advertising. We'll see owners that will rent units that are, they're occupied. The tenants are moving out on April 30th, and you're moving in on May 1st. There's not proper time to clean, paint, repair, assess. And a lot of times when that happens, right, we see that big in the college market, especially on the east side, PC area too. the unit's not given the attention, and you're just moving into problems. You're moving into doors not closing, pipes not leaking, toilets not flushing, there's hair in the shower drain, it's not draining quick enough, yada, yada, yada. So if the unit is being advertised that way, or if you just walk into the vacant unit and you see it's not been freshened up, it's dirty, maybe there's old furniture, there's signs of rodents or pests, that's another bad sign of a landlord. Number 5, it's too good to be true. And this is more so into the scam and cheese, I call it. So let's say Benefit Street, east side of Providence. Majestic 2-bed apartment, granite countertops, stainless steel appliances, parking for 2, pets okay, laundry on site, $1,000 a month. Sounds a little too good to be true, right? And what happens is people will clone our apartment listings. They'll take exactly the photos with our watermark, exactly the description, repost it on their own account, get people to inquire about it, and then say, oh, if you send me a $500 deposit, it's yours, and it's refundable if you don't like it after the showing or something like that. And they'll ask for just, a little bit, not all of it, or maybe they do ask for all of it, and then they get you there. So just be wary. You know that rental prices now are high. They're high, okay, average rent's probably $1,500 in this market. If something looks and sounds and feels like, what a bargain, it usually is. Because landlords, like I preach all the time, we have so many expenses. We don't give bargains. We don't give discounts. There's no such thing as a clearance apartment. It just doesn't happen in this business. Okay, so if you do see it, it's a red flag. It's not like we've had a certain hat in stock at our store for a year and there's a closeout and we're selling them for 80% off. Or bruised produce at the supermarket. It just doesn't happen in this business. So keep that in mind, okay? Number 6, poor tenant and online reviews. And I will also add perfect online reviews. So really shitty or really good. Too good, right? You need somebody that's in the middle. Right? I think we're at, 4.6 or so. And on a scale of 0 to 100, that's a 92. That's an A-. It's pretty damn good for being 10 years plus in the business, dealing with thousands and thousands of tenants and owners. Roughly 7 to 8 out of 100 people are not happy. And in this world, that says a lot, okay? But if you look and the company's got 3.0 stars out of 5, that's a 60, that's an F, right? That's a D- pretty much. But if then you look and it's all the way and they're 5 out of 5, everybody's happy. Somebody's not happy. Okay? If everybody's happy, that means somebody's not happy. That's how I look at the world. Maybe the staff is unhappy. Maybe the owner is unhappy. Maybe the vendors are unhappy. Somebody's got to have a deficiency there. And I'm a firm believer in reality, okay? You can't please everybody, and not everybody's going to jive with you and your personality. So I like somebody that's a B, an A, right? Somewhere in that range. That's a perfect consensus of how society and the community feels about that company. So keep that in mind. Number 7, shady or non-existent contracts. So it's kind of odd to think that there would be no contract. I mean, in my brain, that is, moving into a domicile. I mean, application is the first thing that you should see. If there is no application, that's a red flag as well. That means there's probably not going to be no lease, which means nobody knows the boundaries. Nobody knows the playing field. Nobody has an idea of the parameters because they've never been set. That's a problem with a lot of relationships nowadays, and don't let me go into that. topic, but you need to set clear expectations so that if somebody falls short of them or if somebody exceeds them, you can reward or criticize appropriately. And the lease, the application, it's kind of giving you that road. Imagine like a bowling lane with bumpers on it, right? Or you could even say without the bumpers, it's got the gutters. That if the ball rolls off into here, right, you smoke in your apartment, says in the lease, grounds for termination. You got to get that ball back on the lane. But if there's no lease, you never told me I couldn't smoke my weed in here. Weed's legal, bro. Let me smoke. What's the problem? Why you tripping, man? This is some OG fire that I just bought at Mother Earth in Pawtucket, bro. Come on, man. Right? So you don't want to even get into that conversation. So you clearly spell things out. So if somebody's not giving you documentation, then you should be wary. Because it's not just a free-for-all, right? If it's a free-for-all for you, it's a free-for-all for the landlord. Who do you think is going to win that battle? Okay? Number 8, cash is king. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Dollar bill, y'all. Right? I was raised on that type of music. That's what I think of when I hear cash. Cash is bad when it comes to this business. If a landlord is asking for cash, you are also asking for trouble. And the landlord's typically asking for trouble. Oh, you didn't pay me $1,000. I only got $900 here. Hey, I only got 9. You owe me another 100. Oh, late fee. Now you owe me 200. I paid you 1,000. Sorry, I only got 9. Again, who's going to win that battle? And then the landlords that are accepting cash are doing so usually to be unscrupulous to Uncle Sam. So I like the documentation, not just with the lease, but also with the payments. Just protects you, keeps things honest, and also it cleans up the landlord. They shouldn't be accepting cash. Nobody should be accepting cash in this type of passive income business. Cash at the store, cash at the restaurant, the bar, right? Other places that you pay cash are fine, but in this business, red flag. Number 9, legal violations. Now, it's tough for you to know as a tenant what's going on 100% in a property, right? If one apartment has violations, you really don't know about it. But say it's in your unit and you call in the city inspector or code enforcement, you know that there are violations, whether it's rodents, whether it's plumbing, electrical issues. If those remain unchecked, then you have a problem. Okay, that's a major red flag. Not only is it disrepair, like we talked about earlier, but legal violations. Things like the heat's not up to code. It's not at the 62 degrees required, right? The electricity doesn't work in certain rooms. Your fridge is not cooling to the proper temperature. Things like that, where you're not getting your essential and basic services, are a big item to keep in mind, okay, as a tenant. And the last one, frequent rent raises. Okay, if your rent is getting raised more than one time per year, it's a red flag. Sometimes I've needed to raise it multiple times, right? You get hit with insurance increase, you get then hit with tax increase, you then get hit with utility increase. It's like, damn, I need to do it again, but I won't do it because it's not fair. It's just not fair to the tenant. Okay, I have more units, I can just make it work, right? I have a savings, I can fade that. But some landlords are not that way, and they will raise you, boom, after 3 months, boom, after another 3 months. And at that point, you're just like, I don't know what's going to happen. I'm walking on eggshells. I need to support and provide for my family, and I don't know if this guy's going to raise my rent $500 next month. I can't have that. So you want to ask for a year lease whenever possible. And if you do see frequent rent raises, more than one in a year, then just keep your eyes open, okay? That is a red flag in my experience, all right? So, back to the original point here of Greg is a bad landlord. I looked through all of these, and none of them hold true. Not a one. And all my staff here, all of my tenants that watch these videos, feel free to comment if you disagree. Okay? I'm here. Never missing an action. Always accessible. Always accessible. 7 days a week. Never dishonest in advertising. Jacob and Maricela do an excellent job. We make videos of the exact unit. This is how it is. Take it or leave it. There's no funny business. Common areas, like I said, I don't go crazy, but I don't neglect. They're swept. They're clean. There's no storage. There's no garbage. We make sure. Okay, fire alarms are tested, things like that. Rental unit is never in disrepair. We have full-time maintenance staff. Okay, it's too good to be true. We're not scamming anybody. Our reviews, like I went over before, were an A-. Shady or non-existent contracts doesn't exist. Application, background check, screening report, lease, renewals, all that. We don't take cash, online payments, money orders, cashier's checks. Legal violations are fixed promptly whenever we receive them, and we don't do frequent rent raises. So any other questions or any other comments, feel free to put them below and I will slay them. And if you want a signed hat autographed by moi, let me know. I'll send that right out to you. They're going like hotcakes. All right. And once again, Greg Rice here in the bucket, your property and your bad landlord managed.